Hey friends, welcome back to today's video. Today's video is all about teaching multiple students. Hey friends, I'm glad to have you guys here. If you are new, please subscribe and leave a comment down below saying hey, and I'll welcome you. And if you're returning, also leave a comment down below saying hi. I'd love to hear from you. So how do you teach multiple students using Sonlight? So with using Sonlight, one great thing is you don't have to order different textbooks for each student, for each grade. So that saves a lot of books, a lot of different textbooks. And you can combine students that are within a 3-year age range for their history, their Bible, their literature, and their science. Then you simply add on skill-based programs for each student. So that would be like their math, their language arts, their reading, spelling, handwriting, etc. And with Sonlight, they often will call these their table subjects. So your math and language arts are often the ones that you sit at the table to do, and then the read alouds and the readers, like the history, the Bible, the literature, and the science, Sonlight will often refer to them as your couch subjects because you can cut up on the couch and read those books together and enjoy looking at the pictures and listening to the stories and creating memories and bonding together while you're learning. Okay, so there are 3 big benefits to combining students with one core when you're learning. So the one thing when you just use one core with multiple students is you're able to save time. So a big thing is you can save time. When you don't have to read from multiple cores for each individual child that you have, that would feel like you were being pulled in a lot of different directions. And so you're able to save a lot of time by just having one core and teaching multiple children. For me, I have 2 cores and I'm teaching 4 children. It would be a lot harder if I was trying to teach all 4 children with their own core. Okay, the second one is you're able to save money because you can use one core with multiple children. You don't have to order multiple cores for each child. And then in addition, you can also save money because you can save those cores to use again with a younger child. So for example, my older 2 boys, they are using one core, they're using core D, and then those books I can save because they're non-consumable. I can save those and use those again then with my younger students when they are at that same age. Now with Sonlight, there are some of the things that they update, maybe a book or 2 they swatch in and out, and so you can easily do that, swap in and out a book or update the questions or something like that, the instructor's guide. There's ways to do that with Sonlight and figure out which books that they have switched in and out and decide if you want to do that or use what you already have. Okay, and the third thing when you combine children together to learn together is you can avoid a lot of the frustration. When children are all learning together, it creates a bonding experience, and then you as the teacher also are not feeling like you're being pulled in as many different directions. So one example I've seen of this in my children is if we're reading a story out loud, often all 4 are in here listening to it, even if it's from the core D, like for my older 2, often all 4 are in here listening to it and they're understanding and comprehending it at their own levels. And then when they're playing, they want to act the story out. And so since all 4 were already listening, they can kind of know the background of the story and know what role they're playing, kind of how they're supposed to act, what they're supposed to do, what problems come up in the story, and it creates a really good bonding experience for them. They're able to create a lot of memories for that. And then also with them learning together, they get emotional connection with the characters in the story, and the information that they learn through that story about, like for example, that time period in history, they're able to retain that information a lot better. When you just learn random facts by themselves with no story, those facts often will go in one ear and out the other. The children will forget it easily. I know I forget it easily when I just learn random facts. But if it's attached to a story, and especially a story that I had an emotional connection with, that makes it so that the child or me am able to retain the information much better. So with some of the outstanding books that we've read together and the delightful story, it has made a centerpiece for learning, and it has really helped our learning to come alive. Stories really give context to information and gives emotional connection for students that helps them to be able to retain the information. And another great benefit of learning together with teaching multiple children at the same time is that reading great, wonderful stories is a wonderful foundation for comprehension and also for critical thinking skills in every arena of life. And that's what we want. We want our children to have great critical thinking skills, to be able to solve problems, to be able to think for themselves, to not feel challenged when somebody believes differently than them, to be able to ask questions and learn, and then still know in their hearts what they believe. Okay, so another thing for teaching multiple students using Sonlight cores is to try to group them together as much as you can. So Sonlight recommends grouping them if there's like a 3-year age range between your children, those can be grouped together to do one core. And so if it's more than that, you might want to think about splitting them up differently. But for example, for my 4 children, the way I've split them up is my older 2 do one core, and then my younger 2 do one core. My younger 2 are ages 4 and 6, so they're almost 3 years apart. And then my older 2 are twins, so they're the same age already. And so that was easy for me to be able to figure out how to group them. And it has worked really well. And by grouping them together for the core subjects, or the couch subjects as Sonlight calls them, so that would be for their history, the Bible, the literature, and the science. And then at their own individual levels, we do math and language arts, spelling, and handwriting. And so that is just how we have chosen to do it, and it has worked really well. So a literature-based education has made our learning experience really enjoyable, and all of my children, to some degree, are able to learn together. And so, for example, when I do my read alouds and our Bible time, all 4 children come in here. Some will sit on the couch, some sit on the floor, some sit at the table, and they find quiet activities to do, like snap blocks, or let me show you. So they will find quiet activity to do, like snap blocks. I have a bin of these here on my floor, and we have many different colors, and they can build all kinds of things with these, and they're fairly quiet. They snap together. In this bag, I have plus plus. So I used to have a lot of these, and now I have like a handful at the bottom of this bag. I think some neighbor children took them home in their pockets. But these are also great little things you can build all kinds of stuff with, and it's quiet. My children will sometimes play with Legos. The problem with Legos is when they're digging through the box trying to find the piece they want, it's really loud. And so what I could do is just give them the handful at a time of Legos to play with is one option, but yeah. And then one other thing I do with teaching multiple children is sometimes, this is kind of our special box, it's like a fidget box, they can pick something out of here to play with. And this box stays up on my shelf. We only use it during read aloud time. They could pick something out of here to play with while I'm reading aloud, and like during our Bible and going over our memories, stuff like that. And then when we're done, we put it back in this box and put it back on the shelf. That way it stays special, and it is something new and interesting for them to play with. So I just have things in here like a puzzle that I found at a yard sale. This is a little hidden picture book that we got here locally at a little store. Some different kinds of Rubik cubes. This one is like a round one. Different fidget things. This here connects and comes apart. This here is thinking putty, and there is a puzzle in here, and there's some more of those connects building things in here. There's a potato head, there's tweezers, there's these gripple things, that's more for my toddlers. And then I also just have an array of little animals in here that they can play with. With those little animals, sometimes I make a sensory bin for my younger child. Okay, and then something else I do with teaching multiple children is, like for Bible, I combine everyone for Bible, and we all come in here and do it together. And whether for you, you could maybe do it during breakfast or over tea or during hot chocolate. For us, we like to come in our schoolroom in here because we have AC and the rest of our house is not AC. And so it feels a lot more peaceful. The rest of the house, there's fans going and papers blow and it's noisy. And so when I'm trying to read it loud, I don't want to like try to be yelling on top of the fan and the papers and the noise and just the humidity and stuff that's around. Anyway, so we come in our schoolroom with AC, and I'll maybe read like from the preschoolers core, a story from here, and then maybe we'll do the Bible reading portion from the core D, or we'll do the discussion part from here. We have a prayer in here. We have Bible memory due, and I just pick one Bible memory to do with all my children. We'll focus on that for 1 week or 2 weeks, depending how long it is. We do a hymn, and then we also have a poetry that the poetry, sometimes we have a poem we're working on and sometimes we don't, but I keep it on a bulletin board over here on the wall, and I can maybe put a clip of that in here. And so that is something else I use to help me to be able to teach multiple children using Sonlight. And then my husband, he also every evening he's currently reading through the Bible aloud to our children, and so we are getting extra Bible reading in there too. And we often will pray and discuss stuff, sometimes sing in the evening, sometimes we'll go over Bible memory to help the children memorize it. And so that is just another idea of how you can incorporate more Bible time into your day if you don't get it all done in the morning, or you have a day where maybe you didn't have enough time, or maybe you want to have a time of Bible in the morning and in the evening, where your husband can be involved in that one also. And I think it's a big benefit and a big blessing for my boys to be able to see my husband leading out in it and not just me during during Bible time. But anyway, they're able to learn, and we have 2 opportunities during the day then to be able to get our stuff done that comes with our Sonlight core. So that is what I have for teaching multiple children using Sonlight. It is definitely possible. There's definitely benefits. The biggest benefit I would say is the bonding that comes from our family learning together. At meal times, we can talk about it and discuss it and tell my husband, and everyone can join in and tell their piece of the story that we read that day and what interesting thing they learned. And with them being able to narrate it back to my husband, it really helps the information to stick in their brains also. And it's a form of narration that really helps people to remember the facts and the information, but the stories too, and the interesting parts. Hey friends, this is me, and after I'm done filming, and I decided to come back and I want to add one more thing on here that I think is really important when teaching multiple children. One really great thing to use, great tool to use when you're teaching multiple children is to keep them motivated. And when you're teaching multiple children, you have a lot you have to get through during the day, and then usually just homeschool is not all you want to do that day. You have other stuff you need to get to that day as the teacher, as the mom. And so you want your children to stay focused and stay motivated and not be dilly-dallying around all day. And if it does take all day, some days that's fine. It's just kind of nice if it doesn't take all day, every single day. So this is one way that we are currently using. We change up our ways that we motivate our children, but right now this is working really good. This is a thermometer, and if they get done with I have a list. If they get done with their morning stuff by noon, they can color in one section. It says 15 minutes. And then I have a really small afternoon list of stuff for them to do, like do a workout of some kind, like or ride their bike or create something, read for a bit. I have some time limits on the different things, and they can color in the other 15 minutes. And then on Friday evenings, however many 15 minutes they got colored in, then they get screen time for that amount of time. And that is supervised screen time. It's not just whatever they want to do. But yeah, so this has been really motivating for our boys, and it's been a benefit for me because it helps them to stay focused and want to get done with their school by a certain time, have a reason to want to get it done. And then it allows me to be able to focus on other stuff later on in the day once they're done with their school. Some days they haven't made it, and it has created tears, but then it has really motivated them the next day to stay focused and get at it. So yeah, I just wanted to hop on here quick and give that tip that if you're teaching multiple children, it's really great to have a reason for them to want to do their school and to stay motivated and to stay focused. So yeah, there are many benefits to learning together and teaching multiple children. Thank you guys for watching this video. Give it a thumb up, comment down below, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.